practice league seems like you could take it as far as you want. If you want to be, aggressive and grinding with the front guys, you can do that. Unless you like going at your own pace and finding, like he was alluding to, a mid pack. But it's cool because he's grinding probably with the same dudes every week. Trading paint with Mike from Louisiana, or Kent from Kansas every week.
It's
whatever.
like a club. You get to meet people and
open
see
Discord channel where they're talking shit to each other. I love it, dude. It's awesome.
You learn
people
people's habits and stuff. That's kind of dope. Hello and welcome to the Chicane Podcast, where we discuss all things in the sim racing world. I'm your host, Jason Rivera, and I'm joined here by Eric Kelly and Jeff Smart. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great, man.
I'm doing all right. I had a rough week racing this week, man. I didn't get in as much as I would have liked, but I had one, and I think I vented to Jason. I think I got like 2 clean laps, and everything else. There was just one corner. I forget the track. I put it out of my mind. I got 1 lap that I kept it on the track, man. I had a safety rating drop of 0.22 in one race.
Ooh.
Bro.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was a rough week. Didn't get in the rig very much, dealing with some stuff around the house. Not a good week. But there's always this week, so we'll give it another go.
And
Jason,
what about you,
week,
Eric?
buddy?
Oh, me? So I did 0 sim racing this weekend, and for a few days now, because you already know I'm grinding away, slaving away.
Yeah, man. We appreciate it, man.
Yes, man. I'm working hard on getting our content upgraded as well, and making sure that the YouTube channel TGS Sim Racing is ready for production. And yeah, so it's been fun. It's just not been sim racing. Thanks for asking, Jeff. What about you, Eric? I'm excited to hear Eric's update here, because I don't know.
Yeah,
I may have heard some things or a few things, around the corner.
or seen some things, some stuff happening. So for me, I got to do a lot of good sim racing this weekend. Got to do the Daily Race C in GT7, which was the Nürburgring Endurance, which is the long track. And I guess they just felt like they were going to flex their muscles on us. This week's the race was dynamic weather and 6 laps. So this one race was an hour in the rain. So definitely, it was fun. Definitely a challenge. Probably one of the most difficult races that I've ever done on GT7.
You said an hour?
An hour. 6, for one race,
just
6 laps.
In. Damn, dude.
Yep. So, I mean, it's a love-hate thing. I hate how bad I am at the Nürburgring, but also it's so much fun because you get to do so much on that track. I think Jason got to tune in and watch me embarrass myself a little bit as I try to get things going, get things ready to stream, and get ready to share my adventures in live in sim racing with you guys. So yeah,
don't beat yourself down, bro, because we all go through the same thing, and including our listeners, viewers, everybody goes through it. Yeah. They may not talk about it, but everybody has bad days. And when you turn the camera on, when the cameras are rolling, the cameras are rolling, dude. There's nothing, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do about it.
Eric, you have an uncanny ability to stream when I'm in the car driving.
Hey,
it's
man,
like
it's
every
the beauty.
time you start streaming, I'm driving and I can't get into there.
Oh no, it's all right, man. I don't have nothing that you missed outside of somebody struggling driving, but yeah, I'm gonna definitely try to stream more. I want to do more, just kind of a series where I'm learning to race, learning about cars, about weight transfer, braking, stuff like that.
All right, man. So that's what I want to hear. So when you got a set schedule, Eric, let me know, and we'll put that on in the description for people to go ahead and tune into your streams, and should be able to pull up the old VOD from the last time that you raced. I assume so. If not, then I mean, I'm sure there'll be plenty more, right? So.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the plan, especially as I venture off into trying to do some more PC stuff. And yeah, it's fun.
It's coming.
There's so much.
We heard it.
It's coming. Yeah. It's coming.
Yeah.
PC is on his mind, bro. He can't sleep. It's all
See
good.
where
I'm
I'm
just
at, man.
Good stuff, buddy.
Shoot.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So, got it. Today, we have a massive update. Well, it didn't happen today. Let me correct myself. It happened, I think, 2 or 3 days ago. Crew Chief software, the software that we use on the PC to basically it's a AI voice that reads telemetry. It's a speech recognition. It had a massive update. I think it's update 4.18.40. And we don't get a lot of these. We get bug fixes, but we don't get major releases. So I'm just going to go through and just skim off the top over here on the changes. So Le Mans Ultimate got added officially. So before you had to have a different version of Crew Chief installed just to use just to make it compatible with Le Mans Ultimate. So if you did that, just you can go ahead and uninstall that. You don't need to do that no more. The
Nice.
speech wizard menu item designed to make first time setup easier. Okay, so if you're new to it, it's supposed to be easier to have a wizard now to help you guide you through the setup, which is awesome. So they got volume control is a new addition over there. Audio ducking is also added to the software. Voice commands voice commands to change the volume as well, so you can tell Crew Chief to pick up or drop the volume. So that's really helpful, man, because I have a knob set just for Crew Chief and buttons, and now I don't have to have that no more.
Yeah, it's nice. I got it on my Stream Deck a bunch, like Spotter, Crew Chief, the actual game. It'd be nice
Sweet.
just to hit your mic and
Yeah.
Hey Jim, shut the hell up for a couple minutes.
I know, please. Jim, shut up, bro. Don't remind me how bad I am right now.
It's like all those F1 drivers and they're like, stop bothering me in the middle of a corner.
It's exactly
Jim,
that's
just shut up for a lap or two. I know I'm sucking right now.
right. So remember how I told you guys in a previous episode that we used a script called CC Start?
Yeah.
And that CC Start is no longer needed with this version because it now has auto start built in. So that's another thing that you can get rid of. Test it obviously before you delete your stuff, make sure everything's working right, and then should be able to remove that. Let's see what else is on here. Speech recognition improvements. Glad to hear that. Sometimes you have to really yell at the guy to make him respond. Let's see. It says here, properties have been added that allow user to disable all unused speech commands, improving the recognition accuracy for commands that you actually use. See, example, identify opponents by driver name, which is nice. So you don't have to it'll tell you, hey, Eric's 2 feet in front of you, or whatever, or meters. You can identify opponents by race position. So if they're in first place, second place, seventh, whatever. You can also identify opponents by a relative race position to disable some of the worst offenders. I know you could probably use that, Jeff. So then it goes on to a lot of stuff. I mean, I have a big change, probably a massive change log here. They got a new experimental fuel calculator is available for use and has been enabled via the property experimental calculation. So experimental might not work, might not be accurate. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. There's some new properties with fuel. So you have experimental. They're all experimental. So I'm just going to go over this real quick. Fuel calculation, fuel percent, fuel extra laps to include ovals, for ovals, excuse me, and fuel reserve for long and fuel reserve for medium and also for short. Let's see. The margins can be changed dynamically with voice commands. So you can say, play it safe on fuel, or roll the dice on fuel, or reset the fuel plan. It's kind of nice, man. All this stuff, man.
What does roll the dice with fuel mean?
Random. Like just do whatever you do something. I wouldn't.
I saw that. I was like, what?
I mean, don't tell that
I don't know what that
to
means.
to George Russell. I mean, there was some randomness going
Right,
on.
let's not talk about that. It's still too soon. Summer break's
What do
over.
you mean it's too
What?
soon? The
It is
summer
too
break
soon.
is wrapping
It's
up.
over. It's over.
It's over? Okay, that's what's up.
They're prepping out at Monza. Anyways, onward and upward, crew chief. Let's stay focused.
We're almost through this, guys. I promise. So I'm skimming through this, but please, I highly recommend. Obviously, update and go and check the log. But let's see. The focus. No, we're not going to go over that. That's just experimental stuff. It says here, don't forget to enable iRacing auto refueling when entering pit in race if you want to use crew chief instead of iRacing auto fueler, because it must be disabled, which must be disabled, it says here. Or always ask Jim to refuel you manually using a voice command. This is obviously a very important feature for many racers. So any feedback is greatly appreciated. Just summarize that. Opponent information. This is nice. Check this out, guys. Jim is now able to tell you about the rating and safety license of drivers around you in iRacing and race room. We will keep you,
bro.
Yes, C
Man.
class, bro, for the win.
No, I mean it's a start line. You could be like, tell me the safety rating of the two dudes behind me.
I know at the start, right? Because
It is rookie. Watch out.
Dive bomb coming.
Okay, pull over.
Pull over.
All right,
that's awesome. That single-handed is a good reason for a download.
That is
that's
already, man. Yeah. It's a massive change here. It's awesome what they're
cool.
doing.
No, that's cool. So you know who you're battling with and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
It says you also he'll also keep you informed of the car you're approaching in a lapped car, or if the car coming behind you is coming to lap you, long before the blue flag. So you'll know before your whatever DDU or steering wheel where it flashes blue. When the thing is flashing blue, the car is on you already. So anyway, it says here, this is especially useful in series that do not use blue flags, and Jim will encourage you to let them pass. Jim also got a bit better at closing the radio instead of giving out of date information. Thank God. If you hear him opening and closing the radio lock, consider disabling enable radio beeps or asking him how his day is going. You serious? This is a change log. I'm not making this up. It says if you want to know what car number your opponents are sporting, make sure to enable opponents identified by name and number. Okay. So, damn, there's so much.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, I don't want to bog us down with crew chief. So just know there's a crap ton of changes. Excuse my French. And I highly recommend to go through them, see what they do, because it's not just a change log. It's actually instructional. It's telling you how things work and how to enable them. So yeah,
that's it. I mean, that by itself is a huge help because I spent like a weekend just trying to get like my Stream Deck to integrate with Crew Chief, and I still don't have it dialed in. I'll be randomly typing an email, and like Jim will get on, and be like, that data is unavailable, and you're like, crap, like
I don't understand.
I don't understand because I have like when I press the button it gives me, that's linked to the Stream Deck, which is linked to Crew Chief. Like, I wouldn't even have any game on, and I'll just be typing away in the rig for whatever, and it'd be like, that data is unavailable. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So it's not intuitive. So that's good. That's a big reason just to update is for the help.
And to close this one, I just have to put this out. There's new voice commands. I have to let you guys know what they are. So maybe one of them will stay stuck in your head. It says, what's the gap behind on track? What's the gap ahead on track? What's the gap to the leader? What's my car number? Why would you? I don't know. What lap is it? That's a good one, Jeff. What lap is it? What lap are we on, right? Watch the car ahead. Watch the car behind. Pit stop change front tires only. Pit stop change rear tires only. And these work in iRacing as well. So that's Crew Chief. Man, I'm telling you, man.
Dang, man.
You gotta get a PC, Eric. I keep telling you.
Let's say, Eric, you got that on your
PS5?
PlayStation?
Bro.
I know you do your check. Yep, PlayStation's up to date. We got a little work to do,
I'm
but we got
telling
to
you,
flex when we can.
Hey,
you
that's
guys
about where the
could.
check stop too, man. I need something like this, especially the info on the cars in front and behind, real
You're on a
time.
VR headset. You know
Yeah,
how useful this is for you that don't have a
bro,
display? You
bro.
could just
It
talk to the guy.
That
That's
would
kind of
be
awesome.
crazy. That would be crazy. Yeah,
Jason, what are
just
your
having the
main?
information. Really, I just need to know what the other cars are doing, and man, and then also being able to change
You
just
can
certain
watch
tires
them.
too.
You can watch them. You could tell him, hey, watch this car. So he's
Yeah,
gonna update you. He's gonna ping that basically the car behind or the car in front of you if you're worried about him, because it's not just one turn. It could be the second turn, the third, the fourth, the fifth. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
mean,
yeah,
I'm guilty of that where I get target fixated on trying to draw the guy in front of me down. Like, hey, I got 5 laps and he's 3 seconds ahead. I want to try to get like half a second every lap or whatever. And next thing I know, the guy behind me's on my tail. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Slowing you
so
down.
that's super
Yeah.
helpful. Jason,
Yeah.
what's your biggest things that you use Crew Chief for?
So for crew chief, I use track position and weather. So I want to know if there's rain coming, when it's relevant, right? So I mean he also is helpful when the track temperature drops, because if it gets colder on track, your tires theoretically get faster. It's the other way around. If the track temp goes up, the slower you are.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah, I'm
like
not there yet.
a good tip now that I mentioned this, if you're seeing a hot lap or you go on YouTube and you're watching a hot lap or a lap guide, and this guy is like a alien, right? Somebody that's
Mhm.
posting crazy lap times, look at the temperature and make sure when you go and test the car, match the temperature to the car, because you will find that you are faster when the track is set to that temperature.
Hmm.
So,
Gotcha.
it,
Man,
Oh, interesting.
yep,
yeah, I didn't think about that.
right. So,
And
what about you guys? I mean, Eric, sorry.
well, so
Jeff,
I did have a
what do you,
question because this is
oh, yeah, yeah,
this
yeah, for
seems to be
sure.
a huge update. When is this like a normal update path for crew chief, or is this something that is
This
like,
is a totally unusual, bro. We don't
oh
see an
wow,
update this big. We see a
wow,
game added like LMU or
hmm,
a patch or something didn't work.
yeah,
A release like this is massive.
wow,
Full stop.
okay, okay, because it seemed
Extensive.
humongous because I mean we're looking at the notes. He read probably about a third of the changes. Like there's so much stuff
So I
here.
have
It's
here
it's
7 pages,
crazy.
guys.
Yeah,
7 pages worth of crew chief on a Word
yeah,
document. But I'm
man.
trying to summarize them for you to motivate you to go and check them out yourself, because it's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. It's this is huge. So definitely check out Crew Chief. I know I'm
And it's
drooling.
free.
I'll be
All you
I'll be
need is a
living
PC.
vicariously through you guys.
That's the coolest thing. I mean, if it's free, it's for me, but it's actually pretty useful. It's super
It's
useful.
fits. If it's free, it's for me.
Hey,
I
look,
love
You
it.
never
man.
heard that before?
Jeff
No,
with
no,
the
that's the first for me.
Jeff with the
No.
quotables, man.
I know. He's
Yeah,
he's
hogging
always hitting
all the
us,
phrases.
So
and it's a different
I'm
one
here
every
for you
time.
guys. I'm here for you guys.
They're
So
good though,
okay,
man.
guys. So uh, let me get back to Jeff. Jeff, what do you use crew chief the most for? Like,
Yeah.
what do you rely on him
I
for?
I use them. I got a couple buttons that are programmed, and most of them are for. I like to know the deltas to the front and back. So I have it real closely positioned to my wheel, where I can just quickly take almost like probably don't even need to take my whole hand off, and I just like deltas to the front and back. I know you could do it with your black box and have it up, so to speak, on the screen, but I just kind of like doing like the realism. Like you don't have that in a real car. You actually have to use the data, your spotter and stuff. So it's nice to just press the button. It's like 2.3 to the guy in front of you, or
That's
um,
cool, man.
and another big thing. Honestly, probably the biggest reason is when somebody spins out, you get the update before you get the yellow flag. Or it's nice to know that, hey, the guy three up in front of you spun out, so you probably get a spot. Um,
And they
those are
by
probably
names them too.
yeah, that's super cool. Yeah,
It'll say
that's
Jeff's.
cool.
It'll say Jay Smart, because it's right first name last. First initial, right? First name
Yeah.
initial. And it'll say
Hmm.
on track 2 or if it can't read the name, it'll say like, looks like the guy in third or
Yeah.
fifth.
But sometimes I think it even says like Evan Rouge for a spot, like the actual name of the turn
Mm-hmm.
that it crashed on.
Wow.
But it's cool. Yeah, super cool, super useful. That's what I usually use it for. But I'm gonna give it a go with this new update and try to do. I couldn't get it to just, for some reason, it didn't like my voice or whatever with the, hey Jim, time to, person in front or whatever it is. I just couldn't do it. But I'll give it a go if they have the little wizard to help you set it up.
Right. You also want to make sure that Windows speech recognition is turned on because it relies on that. So just a quick note. I hope that they found a way around that because it says here that there's some speech recognition improvements. But anyway, that's enough about Crew Chief. Very, very excited. I installed it, but I haven't even dabbled in the settings because I've just simply haven't had time yet to mess with it. But yeah. So last week I did a live stream covering a brand new free to play open world Japanese drift game called, what is it called? It's called Rise of the Scorpion, JDM Rise of the Scorpion. So just to give you guys a quick one, it's available on Steam, GOG, and Epic Games. It uses Unreal Engine. The story is like reading a manga, like a Japanese manga, like a comic book, an anime manga about a character called Hattori. And it's set in Guntama Prefecture of Japan. And it's got like Mount Akina, so that's like Initial D mountains and stuff like that. And it's open world. It also has a combo. The map is actually a combo of both Gunma and Saitama. Currently handles okay, but it's not Sim Hub compatible yet. So hopefully they need to fix the physics because I cannot get this car to drift, and I'm pretty good at that. And I still could not get the car sideways, no matter how hard I tried. So maybe we'll see a patch, but it's free to play. It's a prologue. It is still being developed for the rest of the game. And that's how pre-releases need to be handled, LMU. So
had to drop it in
I
there.
just had to put that in there, man.
Yeah, I bet you're hopefully optimistic with this one because I know you're a huge Japanese culture.
I kept it installed,
everything.
man. I want to watch it and see how it grows.
And you're a big drifter too, and you're freaking real good at it. So yeah, I know you're probably pulling for this one.
Sometimes. If I'm sober enough, I can hold the drift. If I'm not, that's
problem.
So that's the real
cause analysis right there.
So yeah, interesting stuff happening in the community. We're excited. It's just awesome. We have more news, and I'm going to hand the next section over to Jeff.
All right, thanks, Jason. So we have season 3 in iRacing that's wrapping up here. I think when this airs, it'll be maybe a week or two left. But iRacing published some updates that they're planning for in the next season. That first being is they are starting to use, Jason, you'll think this is cool, drones to start mapping some of the tracks. I know you're another drone dude like myself that would dabbles in the hobby for photography and video, just the hobby in general. So they're starting to use, I think they went out to Caldwell track in England was the first one that they tested it on. But if you go on to the iRacing website, you can read all about it. Super cool how they map the track, the infield, and everything, just to kind of give you a more detailed, more realistic experience in general when going to those tracks. So they're going to start using that technology in some of the tracks that were the first ones to be added into iRacing to try to give those a facelift, if you will. So that should be super cool. I thought it was cool just to read about it as a drone guy to see how that they're using this technology. I know like architects and stuff have been using it to map buildings and they'll fly around it. It's just cool to see how they integrated that into sim racing. Super cool.
That's awesome. Imagine getting a gig like that, Jeff. Like,
bro, right?
They'll fly you out to freaking the UK, and all you got to do is fly a drone around your favorite track.
Yeah, that's cool.
What a miserable life.
And you probably get, per diem paid in England.
Oh yeah, of course.
Go get your stop at your pub on the way home.
You're
You know,
damn right.
Yeah.
have a pint with the boys, talk about
Yeah.
flying your drone over one of the coolest tracks in the world. And be
I
like,
would get
damn.
no sleep
Yeah,
out
man.
there. I tell you.
That's funny. But anyways,
Yeah.
that's super cool. So big things to come out here in season 4. So I'm gonna quickly go through some of these. I want to caveat this with they are not. Isn't going to be just a big light switch of a change, if you will, for all these things into season 4. They are doing testings in week 13, which I think is when you're listening to this, it'll be week 13. And then they're going to slowly roll some of these out into season 4. So I'm going to go through some of these, some changes and updates. You guys are probably sick and tired of me talking, but there's an update to Spa. I'm going to start with this one. Yeah. Spa has been rebuilt from the ground up, fresh scan, all improvements to the facilities, the resurfaced roads, and significant changes were made through Evan Rouge and a bunch of the other turns. So I think this is a win all the way around. Spa's one of the more popular tracks, not just my favorite, but I know we talked about it last time that it's up there probably in top 5 for you guys too. So that's going to be remodeled.
Yeah. It's a legendary track.
Yeah,
legendary.
Absolutely. So I'm excited about that. They're doing some spotty rain, which is added into, everybody lost their mind when iRacing went to the rain. I have not dabbled in racing in the rain in iRacing.
Come on, man. What's taking you so long? Come on.
Bro, there's this thing called safety rating.
I know. But you take it easy.
And I got my hands full right now. I'm just trying to master my craft of the formula. So formula in the rain is a disaster, especially when you get me behind there and probably
just do a test track. Just do a test drive on the rain, dude. You can always set that up.
Like Indianapolis that has like four corners and pretty straightforward.
Nah, do it on Coda, man. That big turn at the end.
So there's be some rain updates where it starts and stops, and you can jump in there for some of the details while I kind of go through this. On the topic of rain, they're adding additional rain tires, so you probably got maybe 5 or 6 different rain tires to choose from. In qualifying, there's going to be some changes to qualifying. I guess this is kind of maybe Jason, help me out here with the qualifying in iRacing. It's not as good as it could be, because when you're qualifying and there's 80 people that have qualified for you, it's difficult for the program to kind of, especially when you have your third screen with where you are in compared to the others, like it doesn't update in real time, so to speak. And that you could legitimately do your 2 laps, look up and be like, I qualified 5th, awesome, and then get placed and you're like 9th, and you're like, it
even confuses crew chief, because crew chief says you've placed 9th, and then lovely dashboard is showing me 9th, but then as soon as you cross the line, the data updates. And it's like, okay, I just ignore it. That's what I've been doing. Just ignoring.
You're right, but it's a lost opportunity. So it's not going to be, from what I've read, it's not going to be 100% fix where you qualify and you will see in the 80s, all the 80 people where you qualified. It's just because you're not going to group with all 80 people. I don't know how they group.
So they group you by
20s, for each heat,
it's called,
if you will.
They do splits, and they put you in based off your I rating and your safety, you get a strength of field. And based off your strength of field, whoever's closest to you, that's how come we race together, Jeff, because we have a similar strength of field. And that's how I ended up on track with you.
Okay.
Now, if there's aliens out there, we're not going to see them. And we don't need to see them. Let them do their own thing over there.
Their taillights way out there.
I know, right?
Let them run their little time trials.
But at least this is being addressed, which is a good 100%. Step forward. You know what I'm saying?
That's all we ask. Try just baby steps forward.
Try, yeah.
Yep. So they're enhanced multi-manufacturers and multi-class splitting algorithms. Don't race multi-class, but if that's what you're into, they're making some improvements there. So that's good to hear. And again, they're not just rolling these out like a light switch. They'll be slowly rolling them out, onesie twosies. They're giving you the option. So when you click register for the race, and it comes up with, join. It'll give you the ability to do instant AI, so you can race that track with AI straight out. You don't have to like build your own race, so to speak. You can race AI on the track. If you have 20 minutes prior to the race, you can do a AI race and get some, if that's your thing, instead of practice, you can do an AI race to burn some time before the actual race. That's kind of cool. And then the user interface that we see when you open up the app and it comes up with your upcoming races and stuff like that, they're going to give that a facelift. I guess they haven't, again, only been doing iRacing now for maybe 3 or 4 months, but they're going to give that a facelift. So that'll be cool. And then, which is really interesting is, so I think everybody, and Jason, help me out because you've been doing the iRacing thing longer, is iRacing is the most realistic car handling, but I'm paraphrasing here, the crappiest graphics of kind of the big 5
yes,
sims out there.
Specifically, the braking in iRacing is the most realistic braking out there.
Yes. So they are doing a completely new graphics engine update.
Thank God.
So they're going with this DX12 prototype, whatever that means.
So DX12 is the new protocol. So all your games right now, 95% of them are running on DX11, which is old. DX11 came out in early 2000s or 90s. Eric can help me out with that one.
Yeah, it's been out for a minute. Yeah. So DirectX 12 is definitely the latest and greatest.
The problem with DX12 is that some games have them, and they're not playing nicely with them.
Oh, really?
You get frame stutters and all kinds of stuff. I think Formula 124 can run in DX12. Don't quote me though. And there's a few other games that I've tried, and I've always went back to DX11 because it's more. It's been here forever, and it's more developed. So hopefully.
Yeah, I will say that if you go onto the website, I'm sure Jason could link the article here from iRacing that we're talking about, is they've pulled some of the curbs on the tracks. They've showed you pictures of what you currently have and what you will have, some road textures. It is so nice.
Oh, it looks good?
Dude, fire.
Wow.
It's going to be, I'm hopefully optimistic. We'll leave it at that. Because, right, I mean, the graphics they're good.
I mean, this is amazing.
They're just good, right?
This is amazing.
It's
you
not
see
ACC.
What I'm saying? Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you know what?
Yeah.
When you start playing iRacing for the first time and you compare to ACC, there's no comparison. But then the more you play iRacing, you kind of forget about all that. It's like, okay, it doesn't look that good, whatever. The handling in the car and the feedback is where my love for the sim is, right?
Yeah, and the ease of getting a race,
availability,
100%. Racing. So I'm hopefully optimistic. I haven't read a time frame when they're doing this.
And the cussing, Jeff, the open mic cussing.
Yeah,
what's going on over there?
First corner.
So I was going to tell you, look at what's happening in the community. This game came out in 2008. It's 2024. We're going into 25.
That's crazy.
And now they're dumping money into this game. They're gonna hire people out to fly drones. They're updating all their tracks. They're upgrading their graphics engine. They don't have to do that. It's already a money making. It's a business. It's already making money.
Yeah, but people's biggest gripe with it is, well, the DDoS. But that's for another day. But the graphics, if it had, let's be honest, if it had ACC graphics and iRacing playability, you're talking about the creme de la creme game. If they just invest in some, in the graphics, then they're all set for the next 5-7 years.
I think they're worried about their user base. Their user base, because a lot of people that play iRacing are playing it on old hardware, and
good point.
The accessibility of the game, I guess they were worried about losing customers because they're like, well, we upgraded the engine. Now you need a powerful machine to run this. But I mean, I would hope that people are not using PCs that were built in 2008. I don't. And if you are, more power to you. I'm not hating on that. I'm just saying, the that would be the only game that you can play if you had a PC from 2008, like stock, bone stock, without upgrading it. So I guess that's why they hesitated this long before touching the engine. So
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they're making enough money that they could have
oh yeah,
done
the
it. So you might
iRacing.
be on to something.
bro.
Yeah,
You can ask Jeff how much iRacing making. I'm telling you,
yeah.
they
Actually,
making a
I
killing.
remember.
I got a couple maps this week, baby. I got a couple maps.
The pay stubs are coming in,
Oh,
Eric.
dude, it's like the government gives me my check, and then they just take like 10% and give it to iRacing. And be like, hey,
That's
this will
it.
cover some out for this week.
So they garnishing your wages for them tracks, huh, Jeff?
Yeah,
I know. There's got to be a way we can write that off, man.
Hey, look,
That's a good point.
It's a business.
Yeah. I like it.
that's funny, man.
All right.
The
So
IRS, just skip over this part.
Yeah, don't look at that.
any more changes?
No, man, I think those are the big ones. If you're interested in reading more, we'll link you in the description. But good stuff on the horizon here for iRacing.
Yes. So, as you know, all of these simulators are actually games, and there's a little game conference coming up called Gamescom. It's going to be this Wednesday, August 21st, I believe. Yep, starting August 21st, and it's going to go through pretty much through the weekend. That's the Wednesday, and a couple of companies have already started teasing some things that they'll be presenting at Gamescom. So I'm gonna, for the video watchers, which I encourage you to become one of on the YouTube channel, I'm gonna show just a couple of teasers, and Jason and Jeff have not seen these yet, so this is going to be some authentic reactions here. So one of the companies is going to be Moza Racing. They have a collaboration with Porsche, and they have a teaser for a steering wheel that they're going to be coming out with. And it looks, it's a butterfly style wheel, kind of, for my audio listeners, it's kind of, in a shadow with like a little red backlight, kind of moody looking.
It's got
Well,
the
the internet sleuths are already on it.
formula look.
Yeah, well, something like that. So they're thinking this out of this bad boy. So this is the Porsche Mission R,
Wow,
which is one of their fully
What
electric
is
joints.
that?
spaceship.
Oh, that's clean
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah, the Mission R is one of their fully electric joints, and I'm gonna skip. So
Oh,
this
We'll
is
we'll, we'll
apparently what
leave a
they're
link
thinking
so
the
you
wheel.
guys can see what Eric. If you can send me these links, we'll put them on the show
Definitely.
description so we can.
yo, is that the
viewers-
wheel?
So this is apparently the wheel they're thinking
Wow.
that they're partnering with Porsche to kind of emulate.
That's clean,
It looks
bro.
badass, man. I mean, you know I'm a Porsche fan. This now functionality wise, I don't know how much of this they'll be able to replicate because it's pretty minimalistic. Only about 6 buttons, and looks like 2 rotaries and some touchscreen stuff. Maybe a couple more buttons. Either way, I feel like this wheel is going to cost gobs of money, but man, it's pretty. It's a pretty wheel.
Yeah, it's a beautiful looking wheel, man. It almost looks like it's hard to put my hand on it. It's like a Formula, but a GT or.
I mean, it looks like a unique look to it. Formula wheel mated with a Tesla screen.
Yeah,
and they had a baby, and that's what it came out as.
Yeah, it's a badass looking wheel, man.
It is, dude. That's nice.
So I want to get some guesses on what you guys think. The Mercedes wheel with Fanatec, theirs is what, $2,500, something like that. What do you guys think Moza's going to try to put this one at price wise?
I think they're going to come underneath it. Because it was was it SimLab and Mercedes?
SimLab, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, SimLab, Mercedes, and that. So now we're talking Moza and Porsche. I think they're going to undercut them. I got it at like 17 to 2.
Okay, I mean that'd be reasonable.
I'd say 15 for that.
Yeah, I think for 15 that.
You fit 15 with the Porsche logo on there, man, you crazy.
Well, it's got to be. Yeah. Okay, so it's Moza, right? Moza just dropped a wheel, and I think it's 800, their new
Yeah.
wheel that has the rotary dial on it.
Yeah, the
So I
little
mean,
gyro screen in the middle. Yeah.
yeah. So my money
They
is
are more
15.
I could see that if they're well, I don't know, like Jeff said, it's a Porsche collaboration. I think Porsche thinks their stuff should cost just as much as Mercedes. So I don't know. I think they might jack the price up just because on this guy. But either
Dude,
way,
that's
I
a
mean
cool
it's a
wheel. That's a cool
yeah.
wheel.
Yeah, it's got Alcantara grips with like some little buttons underneath the thumb. It's a cool wheel. But
Yeah,
also, not to be outdone. Like I said, there's
What
another
else you got up your sleeves, man? What's going on?
company that's near and dear to my heart that is going to be at Gamescom, and they have unveiled some new hardware. So Sim Magic has what looks to be a new wheel, new round wheel, and a new pedal set that they're going to be unveiling at Gamescom. Now these pedals look fully kitted. Looks like they have some haptic motors, which look totally different than the ones that me and Jeff have mounted on the back of them. They kind of have I don't know what you call this, like a futuristic kind of look, a real sleek kind of look to them.
They look like street pedals a little bit,
You
like a
think
little
so?
smaller. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like contoured.
Yeah, they're weird that they're all the same size and shape. Normally
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
your gas pedal is, long and skinny and yeah.
The brakes should be like wide so that way you don't like miss the brake.
yeah. I
But
mean, that's how it is on the P1000s, though.
but this is going down, right? So we'll know about all of this stuff before this episode drops, I believe.
It doesn't look like it's hydraulic
Yeah.
either, huh?
So,
Yeah, it looks like it's all either
Load cell.
spring or elastomer little
I,
canisters on the back.
so there's rumors,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not a rumor podcast, but there is rumors
Mm-hmm.
that SimiCube has the active pedal. And
Yeah.
there's rumors that Sim Magic might drop something to rival it because right now
Mm.
that's a $3,000 pedal.
Yeah.
One pedal.
Yeah. Singular pedal. Yeah.
One
That's
pedal.
crazy.
Yeah, so
That's crazy.
I've been
Man.
waiting for a sale or
Okay.
something, a coupon,
Dude,
$3 grand.
I remember when I sent
Hey.
you that picture, I was like, hey, look what I found on Facebook Marketplace for like $500, and you were so mad.
I thought he was
You
gonna
remember
buy
that?
them. I was like, bro, you better not buy those.
That was funny.
Man.
That's cool, man.
So
I can't wait to see hear more details.
yeah. So Jason, it seems like you might be waiting just for a brand change on those pedals if these are Sim Magic's attempt at active pedals.
If they are active pedals,
Mm.
then yeah, I think I may finally give up my Houston Belt Ultimates. The thing is, and you can ask Jeff, I
Mm.
bought the P1000 pedals, but I didn't like them. I didn't like they were too small for me. But
Hmm.
I ordered the inverted set, so that may had something to do with it.
Oh, okay. So you had the big set. All right.
Mm-hmm. So then I just thought about it, and I was like, you know what? There's nothing wrong with these brakes that I have. The set that I have now. I just wanted something that I can mount the motors to, right? The haptic motors. But
Oh
then
yeah.
I saw that some 3D printed guys started printing out brackets for every single pedal, and that kind of did it for me.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have to change my pedals because I can mount these motors. But that right there, if they come
Oh yeah.
out with an active pedal, yeah, we might have to make some adjustments. You know what I mean?
Watch out.
Yeah. That'd be dope.
So today, or actually this week, I'm gonna have Eric cover, please, those questions. We have 2 this week, and we're
Yes, sir.
excited to cover those, man, because those are quite extensive, and we love reading every single sentence. It was great. I think I
Yeah.
read it like maybe 3 or 4 times. But Eric, the floor is yours once again.
All right. Yeah. So we have, like Jason was saying, we have 2 emails that came in, and we appreciate everybody taking the time to give us feedback. Like we said last time, we know that A lot of people are quick to give negative feedback, but whenever we're getting positivity, we love it. Give us all the positivity you got. So the first one's going to be from Bob Burke. He says, "Hi, Jason, Jeff, and Eric. Thought I would drop you a line to let you know how much I enjoy your show. I listen to the podcast when I'm on the road driving my truck, and a few days ago I came across the lovely sim racing episode. I thought it was fantastic and started going through the rest of your podcasts. You guys are doing a great job. Lots of relevant information and enjoyable conversation. We appreciate that." He says, "I started playing arcade games," in quotes, "at the arcade in our local mall back in the 70s. Yes, you read that correctly. It is amazing how far things have come since I played Pong on a Commodore 64. That is awesome." He said, "I have been building my rig over the past few years and finding out, as you all say, it's never done.
No,
I
it
got
is not.
Yep. He said, "I got into Forza on Xbox for a few years, but didn't
Okay.
keep it up once work started taking more of my time and energy. When the pandemic hit, I decided to get back into the hobby, but a bit more seriously, and now I have time to enjoy it. My base is an 80/20 rig, and he says, best purchase, will never change it.
Good job.
All of my controllers are Fanatec, good quality gear, but I felt that I was on my own to figure out any issues, and there have been a few, but all good now after a lot of trial and error. I have a Butt Kicker Pro, which I highly recommend to anyone looking for more immersion. I have VR, but mostly drive with my 34-inch curved screen, which reminds me of a windshield. One of my favorite additions is the Stream Deck. Another must
Yes.
have as far as I'm concerned, which these two guys can attest to. They're both running Stream Decks.
Stream decks.
He says,
Yeah,
I
man.
also just added wind simulation, but have not been able to get
Yeah.
it working. I will work on this in the next month or so. I'm not
Hmm.
technical, so the learning process for all this stuff can be slow and frustrating. Having said that, I did build my own gaming PC and it works like a charm. Shout out to Jeff. I know you're the newest gaming PC inductee. No, that's been fun. He says, my favorite games are Assetto Corsa and iRacing. Assetto Corsa is for my drives in the country and a Porsche 911 on an open world map, mostly in the Highlands of Scotland. I want to
Nice.
race. He said, when I want to race, it's a Porsche 911 GT3. My favorite tracks are Bathurst and Nordschleife. Awesome. Mostly doing solo runs. Being 69, I'm not expecting to have the reflexes to be competitive against young guys like you fellows, but I'm learning to drive faster and stay on the track. You'd be surprised how important it is just staying on the track. I mean, it's
That's half
underrated.
the
Just
80% of the
surviving.
fight.
Hey, George Russell won
Yep.
just because he was on the track.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. So, what going on? He says, at first I could not make it around the Nord without crashing. After many attempts, I made it through the entire track, and lately I'm posting the odd sub 8 min lap, so making progress. That is
What?
awesome. You sub
That's
eights
what's
on the
up.
Nord Slifer?
Sub
That
8 is
hey,
respectable. What do you
Uh,
mean?
I'm
That's
telling
not
you, man.
slow at all.
Not at all, bro. He
That's
says the plan is
dangerous,
to
man.
yeah, for
That's
real, man.
competitive right there.
He says the plan is to focus on one racecraft skill at a time and just enjoy the process. Eventually, I'll start racing against real drivers, but for now, I'm having a blast doing what I'm doing. Future additions to the rig including GoV ambient lighting. I have the light bars just waiting for mounting brackets to be delivered. Okay, and also just about ready to pull the trigger on slip angle 4 corner shaker setup. Oh yeah, he's going all in. Yeah, I love it. The slip angle will be allocated to road inputs, while the butt kicker will be for car inputs using SimHub. Thanks again for your contribution to the sim racing community. I see a bright future for your content. In closing, I'll give you the highest compliment I can think of. You make me want to jump into my rig and drive, Bob. Thank you,
Wow.
Bob. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
We
Bob.
appreciate the time taken
dude,
to
that's awesome.
just give
And
us your
sub 8
feedback.
is not freaking slow, bro.
Not at all. He's one of those guys that
I
pull
would
up
be
and
scared
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah.
as you should
Yeah.
be,
It was
especially
like
running the
it was like,
sub
oh, I
eight.
just like going out there and cruising around the countryside, da 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 da. Let me
And
just
he's ripping it.
And he
throw
floors
this
it, man.
time in there. You're like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Bob,
That's
that's awesome,
awesome.
man.
Yep.
We're glad to be part of your day when you're driving to work and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Really
Yeah.
appreciate the words. It's awesome. It's awesome to hear different perspectives, and you are definitely ready to race against other people. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
you can you can scratch that off right now.
I'm telling you, man. Yep.
I think it's
So
I think it's cool to see. Oops, sorry.
okay.
Go ahead, Eric.
Oh no, go ahead. I was going to go to the next one, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think it's cool to hear people talk about it. Like it's just a process. Like they don't, it's not there just to try to get faster, right? It's, hey,
yeah,
I built a PC, I figured it out. I'm not super technical, but I'm gonna get this equipment, I'm gonna figure it out. Like
yeah,
it's just a process. It's not like they're just expecting to buy this thing, install it, plug it in, and get in there and expect faster times. Like it's a grind. You're like I've learned
yep,
so much about computers, PCs, like software, hardware, all the stuff to just to be a part of and just get in the rig and drive. So Bob, dude, hats off to you just about the process, man, and the grind and getting faster and just enjoying it. It's not, it doesn't always have to be about dropping tenth of seconds here. If you want to get in and do the countryside in your GT3, good on you,
yeah.
dude.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yep,
man, do what makes you happy. That's the most important thing as well. So,
yep. Yeah, and like you were saying, Jeff, there's definitely no easy button with getting faster. So if immersion is the name of the game, there's some things you can do to easily increase that, but trying to get
right.
faster, you know, got to be in the rig, and sometimes you just got to be lucky. But so we have another email. This was sent in by Vlad Sanchez. So subject says new listener, and have you tried league races? So he says, hi, Jason, Eric, and Jeff. I found your podcast recently when you had Constantinos on to talk about the lovely dashboard. I was instantly hooked and binged all your past episodes and have been enjoying the new video podcast on YouTube as well. Check us out, the Chicane Podcast on YouTube. And let's see. And he said, I've been sim racing for 2 years now, and hearing all of your stories reminds me a lot of the different phases that I went through. Initially, I bought my Fanatec gear, DD Pro, Club Sport shifter, CSL load cell pedals in August 2022 to primarily play on GT7. Let's go. And within a few months, the PC
Mm.
bug got me. I made a few upgrades to my PC and started playing Dirt Rally 2.0, AMS2, Subtle Corsa, and ACC. When I learned about SimHub, I added Dayton base transducers to my Playseat trophy and can't go back to racing without them. I also added a 5-inch DDU using the lovely dashboard, and that was a game changer to have the same dashboard across multiple cars, so
Yep.
it's easy to quickly glance at the information that I needed. I need that in my life, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Glanceability, bro.
Yeah.
Preach it.
He says, I then had the multiplayer bug hit me, and after initially having trouble getting a rookie license in ACC LFM, I took advantage of a 3-month free trial for iRacing and haven't looked back since. I quickly got out of rookies and fast tracked my way to a C license. Up there with you, Jeff.
It
In
reminds
order
me of
to
somebody.
race, yep. In order to race the Porsche Cup, you all seem to be big F1 fans, and I like to equate the Porsche Cup to an F1 car where it has no ABS or TC, and it heavily
Mm.
relies on driver skill. I had always heard that if you can be fast in the Porsche Cup, you can be fast in any car, and I agree with that statement. I learned how to properly trail brake in this car, and you can't lean into the various assists that the GT4, GT3 cars and others have that tend to hold your hand too much. After taking advantage of some ridiculous micro center sales and open box items, I upgraded my gear to a semi-cube 2 Sport, Houston Fell sprint pedals,
There
Houston
you
Fell
go, bro.
handbrake, and triple 32-inch LG monitors. Of course, the
My
pedals
man.
were a huge upgrade over the base Fanatec CSL pedals, but the
Oh,
biggest
yeah.
change for me was moving to triples from a 65-inch monitor that I previously used. And actually, I started on a 100-inch projector. Okay, so he's been iterating a lot, that's how it goes, man.
Experimentation. Yeah.
Yep. He says being able to race side by side made a huge difference in my confidence battling with other cars. I'm also starting to dabble in VR since the PC adapter came out for the PSVR 2. Yep, it is out. My biggest suggestion to the group is to check out league racing. There are tons on iRacing, and I believe that GT7 has leagues as well for Eric to check out. They do. I'm in 2 of them. I just got to find time to race. He said, after listening to your most recent episode where you all shared horrible turn 1 stories, I knew I had to reach out to let you know that many benefits of league racing, the many benefits of league racing. I know many leagues operate similarly, but I can share my experience with the league that I've been a part of for almost a year now. The league that I help admin, Global iRacing League, has been operating for a few years now and has a Discord of over 1,100 members. We have various series, MX5, Porsche Cup, F4, where they all follow the official iRacing schedules. The difference from the official series is that there are different race formats that vary from week to week. There's one we call super heats, where it is a triple heat format of shorter lengths, 10, 15, 20 minutes, with reverse grids, top four and top eight, for the last two heats. There's a classic heat format similar to F1 sprint races, where there is a 15-minute sprint race followed by a 30-minute feature race with a reverse grid at the top eight. And finally, we also offer 50-minute endurance races with the mandatory one or two pit stops to add some additional strategy to the races. Sounds familiar, like what we had to do for GT7 this past week.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest selling point of league racing to me is the community and knowing you are racing with the same group of drivers every week. It is similar to F1 in that everyone is practicing for the same track to have single weekly race on a specified night. Pro and AM divisions are set by race pace rather than I rating, and you compete with those in your division. Also, the skill set in each series is varied enough to where we have a pretty good distinction of the top drivers, midfield, and back markers, where everyone has their own rivals in their own skill group. That's cool. Personally, I'm solidly in the midfield, and I get the same sense of being an F1 being an F1 midfield driver, where I know who I'm racing against and what drivers are just way over my head in terms of skill. Our Porsche Cup series, our P Cup series, even features open qualifying for the F1 experience, where you need to know who is on a fast lap and to stay off the racing line. Our league has our own scoring system, again, similar to
Wow.
F1, where it is all lap one incidents are automatically reviewed by our team of stewards, and we allow incident submissions up to 48 hours after the race. That's cool. Then,
Serious.
depending on the
Yeah.
severity of the incident, we assign penalty points to drivers that will affect championship points. On the flip side, if a driver has three clean races in a row, they can possibly get penalty points reduced. So this helps promote fast but clean racing amongst the drivers. Since we're all racing a single race a week in each series, drivers are a lot more careful and turn one incidents are greatly reduced. That's good to
Hmm.
hear. You tend to learn who the aggressive drivers are, but for the most part, everyone is very willing to take blame for any incidents that they cause. There's a sense of accountability that is missing from official iRacing series. The best part is that iRating and safety rating are not affected in league races, so you can have the thrill of the competition without worrying about having your ratings drop if you have a bad week. Finally,
Okay.
one of my favorite aspects is that we have an open Discord voice chat during the race, and the majority of the grid joins. Some only listen to the banter, but others will have friendly conversations prior to the race and sometimes during the race. It's also very easy to apologize if there happens to be any incidents along the way. Everyone is extremely positive with each other, from sharing how much fuel you need for each race to hearing live coaching happening during races, like which gear to be in for a particular turn. Sorry for the long-winded email. Hey, we appreciate them all. I'm ready to read whatever we got. I didn't realize I would type so much, but I'm pretty passionate about league racing, and it has changed my whole experience with iRacing. And I fully believe that it needs to be talked about even more. We are all make believe racing drivers in the end, but it helps us live that fantasy that we are racing against the same grid of drivers every week, battling for that extra point that might make the difference from a P4 to a P3 at season's end. Great job so far on the podcast. I already see how much improvement has been made from the earlier episodes, and the YouTube podcasts have great production as well. Shout out to Jason. He's been working
Thank you. Thank
tirelessly
you.
on getting us looking good. I know that's hard work, man.
I really
Uh,
appreciate this, man. All of it.
and he says, as well, I just wanted to share a link to my league, which I don't expect you to mention on the podcast nor promote it, but it would
Which
be
we will.
awesome.
We have.
Yeah, definitely. But he says it would be awesome if you would drop in and say hello and see what iRacing leagues have to offer. Hopefully, I will get a chance to race against you guys in the future, whether it be in a league or in official races. Thanks, Global iRacing League. That's awesome, man. For
Wow.
somebody to
Yo,
just connect
Mr.
with us.
They
Sanchez,
are
Like that.
way
I'm gonna be reaching
structured
out
too,
soon.
man. To be
Oh yeah.
honest. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff. My
Yeah,
bad.
dude, it's funny that it's just interesting all the timing, right? Because I was complaining about the first corner, like Mr. Sanchez was talking about there,
Yeah.
and I found out I'm in a couple Facebook sim racing pages or whatever groups,
Yep.
and somebody else was complaining about first turn, and it was today that I was like, say it louder for those in the back, and somebody posted in my comment that, hey, you should really think about joining a league, and then we got this email too. So
Yeah.
I think joining a league is in my future. I think it's
Mhm.
cool to jump in there, and I just don't know enough about them, So
Yeah.
I'll probably reach out to you, dude, and ask you some questions if that's cool. Super interested. Sounds like
Hey,
you guys have a squared away,
They
uh,
are.
super squared away league
They
with
have their own
you and first.
stewarding. They
Yeah,
have their scoring system.
yeah, that's
I
cool.
didn't think it was that involved. I thought you just had a group of friends or a big giant group of people that just race together. But
Yeah.
to actually have accountability like that, see, when
Yeah,
you're
that's cool.
accountable for something, you automatically behave different, right? Because if you could just run
Yeah.
away, if you're
Hmm.
on track and you just run away and never come back on again, then no one
Yeah.
knows who you are really, right? Other than your iRacing name. But being
Yep.
part of a community might help, and it might help us get faster because I'm not that fast in iRacing. I'm not. I mean, so wow, I'm just speechless right now. Thank you so much for that detailed email. That's
Yeah.
incredible, man. I will
Yep.
definitely be checking out this league out and seeing what it entails and what the schedule is, because that's another big challenge for Jeff and I is the time zone difference. So we just got to make sure that that's
Yeah.
compatible.
Yep.
But I tell you, we are highly interested in what I'm seeing here. That's awesome. So, and
Yeah.
Eric, you also have he put you on as well, man. That's what's up.
Yeah,
On
man.
leagues, man. And you said you
Yeah.
race on leagues. Is it similar to what we see here in the email, or?
So, like you were saying, the structure is definitely not to this level. Essentially, we have like a guy who runs the leagues, and he basically we pick a track, car type, particular type of race, and he schedules it, and it's like a week out. So basically, everybody just hops in and does your qualifying and practices, and then at that set time, you do like a qualifying lap, and then we'll race. And it might be a couple of different tracks you do that night, might be just one, but having the actual like the scoring and the stewards and the penalty points and all that stuff, I mean, that's just a whole nother level. I mean,
I know, man. I'm actually
y-
impressed with that. I mean,
yeah, I'm in two of them, and you can kind of tell the vibe of the league if they're kind of just fly by the seat of their pants, or if they're kind of laid back, trying to get faster, just trying to help each other out, or if you got some guys that are really just like super aggressive and kind of over the top with being serious. So that's been my experience. But this sounds amazing, to
yeah.
be
It's like
honest.
this league seems like you could take it as far as you want. If you want to be,
Yeah,
aggressive and grinding with the front guys, you can do that. Or unless you like going at your own pace and finding, he was alluding to a mid pack. But it's
hmm
cool because he's grinding probably with the same dudes every week, trading
yeah,
paint with, Mike from Louisiana, or Kent from
yeah.
Kansas every week,
It's like a
whatever.
club. You get to
Yeah,
meet
yeah,
people and
an
and
open
see.
Discord channel where they're talking shit to each other. I love it,
yep,
dude. It's awesome.
You learn
People they
people's
never met
habits and
before.
stuff. That's kind of
Yeah,
dope. Yeah, we might want
yeah.
to
yeah,
check
man.
this out, guys.
Yeah,
But
definitely, man.
I mean, amazing. Thank you, guys. That's all about the time we have for today. Uh, Sorry about the long explanation on the changes of things, but these are good changes coming to the sim racing community, right? We have all this stuff now. We have,
Yep,
we just been invited to a league, and I'm gonna share this league out. It's gonna be in the description, so if anybody is interested, you'll have that information as well. So no
yep.
problems there. Anything else, guys? Eric and Jeff, before we wrap up here.
Yeah, nothing here, man.
Nah, man, round's complete. Drive fast, break late. Not
Okay, there it
super
is. I've been
late,
waiting
just
for it.
late.
Okay, super late. Got it. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Bob and
Mr. Sanchez.
Mr. Sanchez. So Bob and
Appreciate
Sanchez,
it.
thank you so much. And Bob, hit me up about the wind simulators, man. I can help out if you're having a problem installing those things. Just email the show and let me know what kind of software, what kind of hardware you're using, and we'll work this out. And Sanchez, we're gonna challenge this. We're gonna challenge you on this. Anyways, guys, thank you so much and have a great start of your week.